Hello, everyone. Welcome back. You are watching the Kaiser Report. Kaiser and I are here today to talk to you and explain to you exactly what the No Kings March was all about that took place over the weekend in many cities in and around America. There is quite the explanation, and we'll run that for you in a little bit. But first, let's get to our friends at NBC one more time, who are just out and out, ready to lie to you any moment. And it's clear and present right now that they are making up most of what you hear on their channels, especially with Gumby Head there in the morning with his wife, Mika. But then later on in the day, you find the people that just cannot parse the truth to get out to you. And we'll look at that here in a second or two. But before that, the big news all day on the airwaves yesterday was the fact that Jean-Pierre came out with a new book explaining all of why we were wrong about poor Joe Biden and all the lies that she put forward while sitting at the podium defending a man that did not need defending. We all saw and we all became aware, and it's very interesting on how all of these talking heads right now that are bringing her on to promote her book are the same people that help cover up what she witnessed every day in the White House and what we all witnessed watching him stumble through a presidency for at least 3 years, not knowing where he was or what he was up to. It's incredible what that administration and Dr. Jill got away with. We all know that. But let's take a look at NBC's take on your Social Security that you're not going to get according to the talking head here. Take a look.
The Democrats, their answer, quite frankly, I think they should be more aggressive at this point. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. I would ask for more than just health care subsidies. Why not? If the Republicans are going to shoot themselves in the foot, ask for everything that you want. Closed mouths don't get fed. But at least for now, the idea of these guys are shutting down the government, still paying for ICE, but don't care about your health care, I think that's a solid message to run to 2026.
There's reporting that people are starting to ask questions about this across the country, in the states, like just are they going to get their Social Security checks? We know some checks, some offices, Social Security offices are closing. There's reporting that people are starting to ask questions about this across the country, in the states, like just are they going to get their Social Security checks? We know some checks, some offices, Social Security offices are closing.
Is that true?
Of course not.
As they say, as my grandkids say, Google it.
You didn't think I'd catch that now, did you?
Are they going to get their Social Security checks? We know some checks, some offices, Social Security offices are closing.
There is a cost to us as a news organization to knowingly broadcast untrue things. We are here to bring you the news.
Open your eyes and look at me.
No.
If you won't open them yourself, I'll staple your eyelids to your forehead. Open your eyes!
And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
Think about that.
That is an out-and-out lie. It's been disproven, and yet they go on, and there's politicians on the campaign trail right now telling you exactly the same lie and hoping that you'll buy off on it and think that they're going to be the knight on the white horse that comes in and saves your Social Security and your health care benefits, which really only affect about a very small percentage of the population. And of course, now it has come out to where we understand now that it has been benefiting people that are in this country illegally without the proper vetting. It's out and about and evident right now to everyone. So let's not pay attention to these liars that are on these news medias. The best thing that you can do for your own psyche and well-being is to turn off all of the news media that's on your TV. You're better off watching one of these fakakta sitcoms that they have on some of these channels that are barely telling you anything but more propaganda, or influencing your children to act in a certain way because they see what they perceive as a normal family in these sitcoms that are as far from normal as you can get. And that's always been that way with the TV. But back in the day, when you looked at things like Leave It to Beaver, Father Knows Best, all of them had a moral to a story. And usually it was a good moral that taught you that honesty was the best policy and that you didn't go out and kill small birds and not feel anything about it. Hollywood became callous and careless over the years, and therein lies some of the problem. So here we are, hump day, the 22nd day of the closure of this government, and it is not affecting anything that our president is up to with regard to making things better for us here in the United States and around the world. The peace agreements and ceasefires are being held together. The changes in the White House that everybody is so upset about on these morning news programs and on The View, who, by the way, had Bernie Sanders on there yesterday telling everybody it's okay that he has 3 houses. This is a millionaire complaining about millionaires. And I want to tell you that this president is very bad and he's an oligarch and blah, blah, blah. All while he backs a communist in the state of New York. He is a card-carrying communist. There is no doubt about it. He has spent a lot of time, and when we explain the No King movement here to you in just a scant few minutes, you'll see that he's one of the stars in the kings that believe that they sit in the throne of power and should never be removed. There is your kingly problem. It isn't Donald Trump. It isn't the fact that he is paying out of his pocket with proceeds garnered from lawsuits that he won And by the way, on The View the other day, I don't have a clip of this, but he was on about lawfare that he's claiming Trump is using against Comey and a couple of other people, and then tried to explain away there was no lawfare when they did this to him, which we all know now is not exactly the truth. But then again, if you come and wake up every morning and turn on the TV expecting any truth to come across to you about any of this, then you're sadly mistaken. Because you're not going to get the truth out of any of these politicians or news media or sycophants that are on the morning shows to discuss exactly what's wrong with this administration. And then to have the past press secretary trying to still cover up for what we know went on and try to cash it away and get book proceeds so she can get a job on one of these talking head channels that so eagerly hire people like Jen Psaki to continue the lie to make you believe that you're a lesser person and they are all king of the hill. Speaking of kings, let me give you that explanation right here, right now.
No kings, they scream. No tyrants. But let's talk about the real royalty in D.C. Chuck Grassley. 50 years on the throne. Joe Biden. 48 years ruling the roost. Chuck Schumer. 44 years pulling strings. Mitch McConnell. 40 years in the castle. Nancy Pelosi. 38 years stacking gold. Bernie Sanders. 34 years preaching from the palace. And let's not forget about Maxine Waters. 35 years screaming from her fortress. Average age, 80 years old. Average time in office, 42 years. Average net worth, $52 million. And then there's Trump. 4 years and 5 months, but he's the king. Give me a break! No kings, they chant while they lock you down. No kings, but put your mask on, peasant! No kings, but take your 57 boosters or lose your job. No kings, but shut your business down and stay inside. Don't worship! No kings. Snitch on your neighbor and stay 6 feet apart. They censored your voice. They mandated your life. They got rich while you got rules. And the kicker? They've been serving you for decades. Schumer, Sanders, Pelosi, they scream no kings, but they're career lords with a combined 200 plus years in power. Controlling every move you make. Telling you who's a king and who's the brave knight. You're told to fear your neighbor, not the geriatrics running the show. You're told to comply or you're the problem. And you bought it. That's why you're out there marching, screaming, no kings, you poor pathetic peasant. You don't even know why you're there. You just want to belong to something. While they shut down your church, but riots were fine. They killed your businesses, but Walmart was open. And they banned your gatherings, but their power? Untouchable! And what's next? Well, it's just compliance, comrade. It's for the greater good. Wait till they say you can't shop, travel, or live without their latest decree. Think it won't happen? Oh, you already let them control where you go, what you say, and how you live. and you say, I don't do politics. I don't care about that stuff. Well, that's what these kings are counting on. 6 million Jews gone because people looked away. And history always repeats when you let it. They've got you. Oh, they've got you. With no fight, no questions, just obedience. Welcome to the kingdom.
Interesting at best, I would say, but how true is the fact that we tell you here all of the time about the years that have been taken up by people sitting in Congress and sitting in the Senate until their asses are glued to the seats. And they believe that they belong there for 40, 50 years. This is what's wrong inside our government right now. This is what leads to corruption. This is what leads to being a shield against anyone with responsibility for running for that office. They garner billions of dollars. Just look at Kamala Harris in her little 107 days or whatever her book title is that she's trying to sell off to America with excuse after excuse. She literally pissed through $1 million+ every time she puts somebody on a stage, like Megan Thee Stallion, to twerk for you. The expenditure for her total campaign was astronomical, and she still owed $20 million afterwards. After spending $1.5 billion to try and get elected, couldn't pull that off because of poor judgment and poor mistakes made during that campaign. And now you have Karine Jean-Pierre with a new hairdo going to convince you that it was all done to hurt poor Joe, who didn't even know what day it was half the time. She's still defending him, and now she's trying to defend Kamala Harris's run for president. How much more deception, deceit, and lies can we palate before we make a decision to say enough is enough? We have had it with politicians and news media that cannot tell you the truth, or at least look at two sides to any story. Now they're fighting because God and religion is becoming prominent again in a country that was built on "In God We Trust." There is a spiritual war going on right now between two sides. And it's not the Democrats and it's not the Republicans that are the sides. It's God against Satan. And the minions on the side of Satan are scared because Jesus Christ and the Father are so much more powerful than the sides and the minions of hell that had tried to take a foothold in this world over the last 2 or 3 decades, aided and abetted by mainstream medias around the world, all while we sat and took it in and dutifully obeyed the people in Congress and in government that held us back, destroyed our education, and in some cases took away your rights, almost shutting down your businesses, closing the schools, but they kept Las Vegas and the bars open. How much more depraved do you think this country would have been if we allowed that to continue? But through the grace of Jesus Christ, we made the right decision last November, and we're starting back to pray, starting back to houses of worship, and understanding that without God, we're a lost civilization. Spirituality is coming back. You can feel it. It's palpable. And this is what's going to save this world and these United States of America. It's not going to happen without us getting together as brothers and sisters in Christ and standing up to the minions of Satan that had tried to make this Sodom and Gomorrah all over again with little to no resistance, protected by the left and protected by the wrong people in the right positions to get away with what they got away with. It's not that way any longer under the president and the cabinet we have in power now. The rot is in our Congress right now. And that's becoming more evident every day with the Schumer shutdown, now in the 22nd day. And continuing on, and he's voicing now that it may go to Christmas. This is how they think they're going to win and cancel everything that we look forward to. And yes, you have voices every day crying about their loss of food stamps, their loss of this, and what they're going to do to get back at us for it. In the words of my friend's father, that were often spoken when you came out with a stupid statement like you hear today, was, why don't you get a job? There are jobs available. The media is trying to convince you now that the jobs are going to be taken away. They announced this morning, and they're all on about CNN and MSNBC, about 600,000 people going to be laid off from Amazon because they're going to put in robots to do the job of the packers that they show you this morning, to put the stamps on the envelopes as they go down a conveyor belt. Do you think they're going to build robots to do that overnight? It's a systematic program that's going to take years to implement, and probably years beyond that to get it to work properly. Robots are a thing of the future. They're coming. We know that. Is it going to take your job away, or will it create new jobs for people that have to repair them, reprogram them, and the like? It's a matter of education that will go along with the job changes that we see in the future. Are robots bad? Can they get out of control? Can they mess up a project that they're put on? Who knows? Somebody has to maintain them. Somebody has to make sure that they're programmed correctly. And this, as I said, is a product of education. But we have an education system under the guise of unions in this country that have failed us miserably in math, in sciences, and every other thing, including etiquette, and how to purport yourself to a job interview. These are all things that have been lost over the last few decades that need to be recovered. And it needs to be put back into privatary hands rather than the government running anything. We all know that when the government runs something, it doesn't work very well, and it costs way too much. These are facts that we have witnessed over the last couple of decades. The dumbing down of a school system is part and parcel to the Communistic Manifesto book that is out there on how to communize and socialize a complete population. They've gotten to tick off 1, 2, and 3 so far. Now it's time for us to put up the stop sign and go back to normalcy and go back to family and go back to God. Because in God, all will be fine. And with that, we're going to tell you, have a wonderful, blessed rest of this Wednesday, and God bless you all, and we'll see you back here Friday morning. We're going to take tomorrow to do a little work around the farm, but you may see a short or two pop up while we're out there doing that. God bless you all, and stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more commentary, a look at what's going on, and the fact that we do not live under any kings other than the kings that think they're kings in our Congress. Bye-bye now. God bless you all.